I'm Jeff.
I'm Julia.
And today we're going to be discussing a delightful topic about utopian society built on this community. I want to talk about, we're just going to get right into it.
Yeah.
Hope you don't mind. We're just on a really nice walk, and we had this subject come up, and we thought, hey, let's sit down.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Is your mic on? Yeah.
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
So, we're live. Okay, we're live. We're good to go. I'm getting that shut up and just keep going look from Shalia.
Yeah, let's keep going. So
I want to talk about, what our community looks like. What's the reality of what's going on here? And I want to talk about, like very clear feedback systems. In a society where there's no clear feedback mechanisms, or it's really slow, you don't know where you stand. And if you don't know where you stand very quickly, you can't self-correct very quickly. If you're headed off in the wrong direction and no one tells you, man, you can get real far before society is like, hey, you're wrong direction. Right. And that's not really healthy for you. And even worse, if you've gone in that direction for long enough, you might see that as your identity. For example, if you become a criminal and you've been a criminal for 10 years and that's how you've earned a living and you've been in and out of jail, and you might not know any other skills to earn a living except for criminal activity. And so you might feel like alienated by a society. You might feel identified with that identity as a criminal, and you might just keep going on and doing it without ever aligning to what is healthy for you and what is healthy for society. And furthermore, if you live in an imperfect society, that society is not necessarily going to correct you properly. Meaning it might try to correct you to do something when you're actually headed toward what is actually really divine for you. And we see that in our society today. If you're pursuing your twin flame, for example, your society will tell you, hey, that's really weird. You shouldn't be doing this. Why don't you just get a partner? Why don't you just settle with this person? Are they not good enough? Or why are you still into this person who won't have anything to do with you?
It looks like you're in the same pattern of relationships from the past, but you're just working through it.
So today's society is not necessarily trying to correct you into harmonious union. It may be more likely trying to correct you out of harmonious union and into a comfortable soulmate relationship or a comfortable civil union where you partner with someone, because it's usually a better situation if you have a partner in life than if you're going it alone, unless you understand twin flames. But our community is very different than society. And being part of this community, it's different from society, can seem a little weird to most of society because it's different than society. And it sometimes causes friction between the community and society. So one thing our community does really well is there's an immediate, the closer you get to it, the faster your feedback gets.
If you're in or out of alignment with your divine self.
This is a society built on God. And it's a society, right? It's its own world. And the intention behind this is not to create some separate world that is apart from society.
It's about aligning to the one true reality that already exists.
So when you have a community that does that, in our community, there's actually a social structure and a social hierarchy. And it exists really clearly within our company, and then the larger community, there's also a social hierarchy. And it's a good thing. It doesn't mean that the people on top of the hierarchy are the meanest, biggest jerks, which often occurs. It often is that way in global society, but not in this community. The higher you rise in this community, it's because you're closer and closer and closer to God. And there's immediate feedback about whether you're pursuing your spiritual journey, and also whether you're passing the tests that arise automatically on your spiritual journey. Are you passing these tests? If so, our community is going to lift you up and going to,
honor you
and celebrate you. We just had Brianna Manalo, hope I pronounced her last name right.
I think so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She just posted.
Hi.
She just posted, and she's been around for a while. We saw her in New York and we saw her in Toronto.
And she's been active in the groups.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And she's, essential part of Twin Flames Universe Incorporated. And I think she works in the PR department. Does a wonderful job. And she just moved from a crappy old apartment where she lived with her hairbrush to a stunning, gorgeous apartment with a view, and it looked super peaceful and it was very spacious. She had French doors with glass on an office, and there was brick. It was beautiful, beautiful place to live.
Yeah.
Anyone would be very proud to live there. And it was very clearly, for Brianna, a significant spiritual upgrade and leap forward. And she talked about how she was, feeling depressed before she found this work in this community, and feeling like she didn't belong. And she, came into this work and studied life purpose class, became a member, studied TWIN FLAME Ascension School, became a member, and transformed her life. And these sorts of things happen all the time. And it's really beautiful to be there with Brianna and everyone as your journeys are shared. And we as a community, we feel it when you're struggling. And we're there for you. And we really blossom when you succeed. And we get to see your success. And conversely, we as a community get to see when you falter. And we know it. Even if you're quietly, you were really in it for a while and you were doing great, we're all cheering you on, and then you kind of quietly back away and you don't really say anything to anyone. Oh, I really haven't heard from that person. I wonder what they're up to. Oh, they don't really come to the discussion groups anymore. Oh, they don't really show up, to our group chats. They haven't really said much. You know what happened. That person stopped pushing, stopped moving forward on their spiritual journey. They kind of maybe fell away completely or fell away a bit. And there's a very clear standing in the mind of the community about where you stand. And I think that we...
I like what you said, that society always reflects who you are or where you're at. Is that what you said on our walk?
No, society does not always accurately reflect who you are.
No, you said something about that though on the walk.
Well, our community, and this is a utopian society, reflects your relationship with God in your social standing.
Right.
So the better your relationship with God, the higher you stand. And this doesn't mean that, that in the end, there's going to be a hierarchy in this way. There won't be, because there's an end point to this. It's perfect union with God. And then we all stand in perfect relationship with God.
Yeah.
In this one place, right? But we need this feedback mechanism. If you're a toddler and you're being a jerk, you're going to go to timeout, you're going to get disciplined, you're going to get your toys taken away. Well, the same thing, and it's a learning feedback mechanism that, good parents give to a toddler that they discipline. And I think that in this community, some people misunderstand this feedback mechanism we have, because it really doesn't exist at this level, anywhere except for maybe a really good, kindergarten. But in reality, that's what this community is. And it's a teaching. It's a divine community. And it's teaching you how to be closer to God. And that is the key. That's the lesson in getting closer to your twin flame. There's a relationship between the way this community is and functions in its business as usual and the twin flame journey. They're one and the same. And this community is the beginning of a new utopian society based not upon soulmate relationships, but upon permanent harmonious twin flame union, striving for perfect union with God. It's a reality based on God.
Right.
Did you want to say more? You just kind of perked up like you're going to say something.
Yeah, but it has something to do with what you're saying. I was just looking at the camera and I realized I really like our shirts.
Oh, this is merch.
Yeah, Heaven on Earth, and you got Honey Badger Love, and I just realized we're wearing our merch at the same time, and it wasn't really planned.
I've got quite a few merch shirts, and they're the best clothes I own.
Yeah.
The best shirts I own. Then literally, as soon as they're done being out of the wash, I'm wearing them again.
They're very comfortable.
They're my best.
High quality, yeah.
Yeah, and they communicate a message that I really care about, I'm passionate about, means a lot to me.
Same here.
And I'm proud to wear it, and I'm waiting for someone to ask me, oh, what's that? You know, oh, honey badger plug, that's cute.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
But yeah, you can buy these t-shirts on twinflamesuniverse.com. There's like a
there's a merchandise tab.
Yeah, something like that.
So anyway, society today, and this will be kind of the last thing that maybe about the last thing we start to wrap it up. Society today is built upon the family unit, right? Like countries are built on maybe the states, but you know, it's all built on the family unit, and that can be a messy sort of thing. And that's fine; it still works. And the family unit is built upon a pair of parents, right? Maybe they're same sex, maybe they're opposite sex, maybe they're in love, maybe they get together, maybe they don't. But that's the model, right? And the ideal model is you've got, two parents who love each other and support a family, who then goes on to have families of their own and support them, and you've got this, healthy family unit. But the problem with that, and the reason there's so much dysfunction in families, is because your parents aren't meant for each other in most cases, or if they are twin flames, they don't know how to have a harmonious union. And so what we're doing in creating, and whether we like it or accept it or not, we're creating a new society based on twin flames, based on a harmonious union. And so that's the beginning family structure, is twin flames and harmonious union, who go on to have children, who meet their twin flames and marry and have families, and so on. We build a really beautiful society, and it starts with God. And you have to have a healthy relationship with God in order to have, harmonious union with your twin flame. And then that naturally results in all these other things. And if you're going to have harmonious union and keep it, you're going to need to live your life purpose, which gives rise to a divine economy. And here we are. This is Twin Flames Universe fundamental.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to speak to the way that this community realigns you to God and provides you a constant feedback and communication, right? Like Brianna is a great example. Like, we watched her journey, we watched her grow, and then she succeeded into her next step. And it's very clear she had to have been very financially, intelligent and savvy and stay the course. And she had to get over her relationship with her hairbrush, and she had to have the emotional strength and self-love and confidence enough to move into what she considers a long-term living situation where she can really lay down roots. And then we get to see the beauty of her spiritual success. And my God, there's nothing sweeter than that spiritual success. And that's why we do it, right? Yeah. That's why we endure that constant feedback, that, that shaking of the finger that this community kind of naturally does when you do the stupid thing. I just had to text my ex-boyfriend. I missed him so much. I know he's not my twin flame, but I just want things. That's why we stay in this community, and that's why we endure the pain of discipline.
Right.
It's uncomfortable. Like recently, Shirley and I changed our sleep schedule from whenever the fuck we want to sleep to we wake up at 6:30 in the morning and we go to bed around, start going to bed around 9 p.m. Yeah. And that gives us a really good sleep. And at first, by God, it was brutal. It was really hard.
I fought it.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And we had to work through upsets, and we, all this stuff. Yeah. And now we're finally coming onto the other side of it, and we were tired all day, and couldn't get to sleep at night, of course, and that exacerbated the problem. It was like, my God. But finally, we just made the choice, we pressed through, and we arrived at the point where we could finally go to bed on time and wake up in time and be okay.
Yeah.
And we're coming over the hump to now, instead of feeling explosive amounts of energy and feeling really tired throughout the day, we're getting to this place where we're having a really stable energy.
Yeah, I like that. Balanced and stable and steady, and feel well rested.
And that feels really wonderful, because it's our spiritual success. We earned that. It's really beautiful to be on the other side of that. And now we've got this woman running for a run, caught our attention. And now we have a foundation that we can grow even further beyond. We're practicing music. We can develop a schedule in our lives.
Yeah, I'm actually progressing pretty okay on the piano. so far, the keyboard.
She's doing really fun.
Yeah.
I'm even learning notes on the
I
guitar.
have this space now, and it's not just like I have like the time and the day to do it, but like the energetic and emotional space to do it. Whereas before, I was like always exhausted.
And that was earned by the spiritual work from the foundation that we laid.
Yeah.
And you know, this is why you can't compare anyone's journey, because some of you are like, you know, I get a good night's sleep since I was fucking an infant, and you know that's never been a thing for me. I've already had that. And for others, like that's a high spiritual success.
Yeah.
You know, and money might be something that's no big deal, and for others, it's a massive achievement. It really doesn't, you know, that's why you don't compare.
Right.
So, you know, I just want to speak one more time to the inherent feedback mechanism in our community, and why you want to strive to be close to this community and to be an upstanding member of this community, because it gives back to you, right? And we see your success and we share in it, and if you're part of it, you get support, and that's the only way that you get the support. It's this extraordinary, rich resource that you can be a part of and you can benefit from, and the only way that you can benefit from it is by serving it and giving to it, which is a really beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So that is, you know, that is what our community is. That's what our community is doing. That is its primary function, is to be the cornerstone of the new society, of the heaven on earth, of the ascension, and to be the primary driver of the ascension.
Right, and to help you realize, like, you're not alone on the twin flame journey, on your spiritual ascension journey. Like, we're all going through this together, and it's no like, oh, I'm, you know, feeling separate, and I'm the only going through this. And like, everyone's going through it. Like, you're not a special case. Like, someone somewhere like is going through it. But you know, if we can all help each other, like it's just so wonderful and so nice to know that that support is there, that if I'm feeling down and out, you know, I'll have a friend I can like call and to help me through it, you know, and or like if you see someone who's really struggling and you have that piece to share with them that just helps them make it through, like, by God, like what a gift that you can give to yourself and to them just to help them through it. Because, I mean, a perfect world is one where we're all with our twin flames, you know, and loving our twin flames, loving ourselves, loving our life purpose, and, you know, realizing that, like, love is possible here, and, like, there, you know, like, hope is here. And, like, I've seen it so many times in my life where love is the reality, and love is the major working force throughout my entire life. Either like consciously or unconsciously, it's always there. And I know that that is true for every single person, you know, in reality. So love is possible, and love is here to stay, and you're not alone. And just to be able to have someone be able to relate to you about your twin flame journey, like, it's absolutely priceless. Absolutely worth it. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
So as you're moving through your spiritual challenges and experiencing difficulty, remember why you do it, and that the difficulty is temporary, but the sweetness of a spiritual success remains permanently.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all in other videos.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.